Michael George, last year when you won the Manx Telecom Parish Walk, you said you were never going to walk again. You've changed your mind twice. Why?
I just decided I had to go back and try and get the record. The other thing was, for the first time that I can remember, I actually enjoyed the race. It put a different perspective on it for me, so if anybody's out there, make sure you drink plenty.
That was what you learned last year. It took you many attempts to learn that.
Yes, it did indeed. I found out I just wasn't drinking enough. It felt to me like I was drinking plenty, but I wasn't.
And so you won the race. You had high hopes of coming back again. What's gone wrong?
My knee. I did my best to make a total mess of it. I forged the injury over 3 continents. After the big walk in South Africa last year, I ran up a load of steps, and I don't do a lot of running, and I managed to overload my kneecap. Then I came back here and I did the sit quirk when advised not to, and made it a bit worse. And then I was on holiday in Australia, and my son pulled up at an island for lunch, as you do, and I jumped off the back of the boat thinking I'd float serenely down to the bottom, and there was about 12 inches of water there. So I actually made a tear in my meniscus, so I had to have a knee operation.
And when you had that operation, you had plans to still start the race but not go the whole distance. How do those plans fare now?
Well, my ambitions are slowly receding. I've gone back from Peel to Russian, Marown, and I'm thinking maybe a quick lap of the stadium.
Dear, well, it's a shame it's turned out like that. But I know you know a lot of the people who would have been your rivals, and we know there's several who are on the programme, but like you, are not intending to go the whole distance.
Yes, I'm not quite as in touch as I would normally be with not having been out training and everything, but yeah, the likes of Vinnie Lynch, although he only walked 50 miles in his 100-mile last week, he was very badly blistered, so I don't know whether that could be one person I'd already discounted who, if he's recovered quickly, might have a chance, but I very much doubt it.
But he always said last year was going to be his last big parish walk.
Yeah.
Or you're not convinced?
Not quite convinced, no, but I have a feeling that he won't be competitive this year.
But you're convinced that Jock will stick to his word and not make a serious attempt this year?
Well, with 100 miles in his legs from just over a week ago, no, I don't see any prospect in Jock.
So, easy win for Richard Gerard?
There's no such thing in the parish walk. In 85 miles between now and then, he could. Last year, just before the day before the race, he hurt his back at work. Anything can happen. He has to be an overwhelming favourite. But 85 miles, you've still got to get round.
Could he break the record?
He could do. It basically depends how much he's putting himself under pressure. I know he's fit and he's in good form. I judged him doing a 5k race on the access road just a few weeks ago, and he looked as good as I'd seen him, and he was also pretty quick. So it's there for him if he wants it, but whether not having the serious competition in pace will affect him, I don't know.
If anything should go wrong for Richard, does that leave the way open for a new person to win, or do you think one of the old hands like Robbie Collister, who's been training much more seriously this year, will he be back there to claim his 6th win?
I would never discount Robbie Collister because he's got the experience. There's another few people on the horizon, whether they're quite there to make the jump as yet. Dave Walker has never really achieved what he can do on the parish walk yet, so he's one. David Mapp, there's a lot of Davids. Last year had a massive improvement, a good technique, but it's somebody that we only see from 1 year to the next. So there's a rumour that he might not be quite as fit as last year, but maybe he's perpetuating that rumour. So
And do you think it's a similar position with the women's race? Janice Quirker's there. She's been the dominant woman whenever she's competed recently. Do you think it's there for her to easily win again, or do you think there's going to be some up and coming walkers who will push her?
I think once again Janice has to start as a big favourite, but a girl called Karen Chiarello, she did about 1946 I think last year, and then her next race she came third lady in the end to end, and then just in April she did the Sarah Killier and she was absolutely streets ahead of walkers of the calibre of Maureen Moffat. So there's one for you. I've just mentioned Maureen. She has to have a chance if Janet doesn't quite perform to the best of her ability. And I think one day we might see the best out of Sam. Maiden name's Draper. I think it's Borden. I think if she was ever to really concentrate on her walking, I think she'd have a good chance because she's a very good athlete.
She's got age on her side, so we learnt recently that she's got 5 of the fastest 6 times by a person under 30.
Right.
So she's got the scope to improve.
She's got her fingers in a lot of puddings, though. I think if she really wants to make a serious impression on the parish, she'd have to perhaps pull back some of her other ambitions.
And talking about the younger walkers, there's a big entry this year in the under 21 race to Peel, and not just the numbers but in quality terms as well. With Alex Eaton taking part, could that influence the overall walk?
There might be the odd one that gets sucked into following him, which wouldn't be a good idea. He can't go further than Peel. I don't really know of much about many of the other contestants, but I do know Alex is a very strong walker, and I think he'll be pushing the record at the under 21 race.
Finally, we published a feature in the Parish Walk programme this week which says that so many walkers come back again. Some of them come back when they say they're not, and some of them never come back. In 2011, you felt you were like the boxer who'd had one too many fights. How does it feel now? Are you still down at the side of the ring, or are you going to be up and back there next year?
I'm hoping my knee's going to recover almost fully. That's a hard one, Murray, to be honest. I've kind of got used to not training. I'm used to lying in on a Saturday morning instead of rushing from one thing to another every day of the week.
So you've retired?
Oh, I doubt it.